Prime Minister Sheikh calls for adopting only those projects which benefit the country and its people, saying government aims at ensuring country's overall development. Holy Shab-e-Barat tonight, Muslim devotees to spend night praying for their fortune. Tribute paid to martyrs of Pilkana carnage. Parliamentary judgment completed, final judgment to be delivered very soon, Home Minister. Details on new chapter in relationship between Bangladesh and USA discussed with the visiting US delegation, says Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Muhammad Ali Arafat proposes creation of a digital platform to combat pro-Israeli disinformation campaign. All 50 candidates for reserved women's seats in 12th Jatiya Sangshad declared elected unopposed. 32 more Palestinians killed in a single day amid continuous barbaric attacks by Israel in Gaza. And India needs 152 runs to win Ranchi Test against England with all wickets and 2 days in hands. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10 on BTV and BTV World. This is Shoma Bose welcoming you all. Those were the headlines. Now move on to the details.
স্বাধীনতা পেয়েছি, রাজনৈতিক স্বাধীনতা, অর্থ স্বাধীনতা পাই নাই এই জন্য যে পর্যন্ত না এই দেশের দুঃখী মানুষ পেট ভরে ভাত না খাবে, যে পর্যন্ত না এই দেশের দুঃখী মানুষ অত্যাচার অবিচার হাত থেকে না বাঁচবে, যে পর্যন্ত না শোষণমুক্ত সমাজ না হবে, যে পর্যন্ত সম্পদের সুষম বন্টন করতে না পারবো, সে পর্যন্ত আমার দেশের সত্যিকারের স্বাধীনতা, অর্থ স্বাধীনতা আসতে পারে না, আসে না।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has asked the public representatives of the local government bodies to work for making the society free from terrorism, militancy, abuse of drugs and corruption. The society will have to be built freeing it from terrorism, militancy, corruption and drugs. They will have to pay special attention to it, she said. The Premier made this call while addressing a program arranged at Bangabandhu International Conference Centre in the city to mark the National Local Government Day 2024. The Prime Minister asked the local representatives to start waste management also in villages and conserve water bodies for protecting the environment. Noting that there were sewage master plans for cities and towns, Sheikh Hasina asked them to develop a sewage system up to the village level, preparing such master plans. The Prime Minister asked the public representatives to keep the promises they made before the people and undertake the right projects which would benefit the people most.
কোনো মানুষ যেন ভূমিহীন গৃহহীন না থাকে। আপনার স্থানীয় যারা নির্বাচিত প্রতিনিধি তাদেরকে আমার এই অনুরোধ থাকবে যে আপনারাও এই বিষয়টা দেখবেন, রক্ষণাবেক্ষণ করবেন এবং যাদেরকে পুনর্বাসন করে দিয়েছি তাদের একটু খোঁজ খবর নিয়েন। তাদের খোঁজ খবর নিয়ে আপনাদেরও লাভ আছে। নির্বাচনে তাদের ভোটটাও আপনাদের প্রয়োজন হয়, কাজে তারা যদি আপনার কাছে সেবা পায় তা আপনাদের উপরেই তারা আস্থা রাখবে। জনগণের প্রতিনিধিদের সবচেয়ে বড় কথা জনগণের আস্থা অর্জন করা, বিশ্বাস অর্জন করা, প্রকল্প গ্রহণ। এটা আমি দেখেছি ওখানে আমাদের অনেক সরকারি অফিসাররাও থাকে, নানা রকম বুদ্ধি পরামর্শ দেয়, আর আমাদেরও কেউ কেউ মনে করে এখানে একটা স্থাপনা করলেই তো ভালো একটা কমিশন পাওয়া গেল বা কিছু পয়সা কামাই করা গেল। দয়া করে এই ব্যবস্থা যাবেন না। আপনার এলাকার জন্য কোনটা করলে আপনার পরিবেশ সংরক্ষণ হবে, মানুষের যোগাযোগ হবে, মানুষ উপকৃত হবে এবং সেগুলি দেখেই প্রকল্প গ্রহণ করা। যত্র তত্র যেখানে সেখানে একটা কিছু করেই বাস ফেলে দেওয়া না। কোনো জলাভূমি, পানি, খাল, নদী, বিল যেন ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত না হয় সেদিকে লক্ষ্য রেখে অর্থ সাশ্রয় করেই কাজ করতে হবে। 2009 সাল থেকে এ পর্যন্ত আমরা সরকারে আছি। আজকে বাংলাদেশ একটা ধাপ উত্তরণ ঘটেছে। বাংলাদেশ এগিয়ে যাবে, বাংলাদেশ যেন পিছিয়ে না যায় সেদিকে লক্ষ্য রেখেই আপনাদের উপর অর্পিত দায়িত্ব জনসেবা সেটা আপনারা করে যাবেন, আমরা যেন দেশকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারি। সবচেয়ে বড় কথা, সন্ত্রাস, জঙ্গিবাদ, দুর্নীতি, মাদক মুক্ত করে সমাজকে গড়ে তুলতে হবে, সেদিকেও আপনাদের বিশেষভাবে দৃষ্টি দিতে হবে।
LGRD and Cooperatives Minister Muhammad Tajul Islam chaired the program, while Secretary of Local Government Division MD Muhammad Ibrahim delivered the welcome speech. Besides, the Dhaka North City Corporation Mayor Muhammad Atikul Islam and Barishal City Corporation Mayor Abul Khair Abdullah among others spoke on the occasion. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina sought special fund for women from World Bank to create more women entrepreneurs in the country for their socio-economic upliftment. She also requested to disburse more loans from the lending agency on concessionary rate for implementing climate change related project. The Premier made the request when World Bank Managing Director Anna Berzadi called on her at her office in Shangshad Bhavan today. While briefing speechwriter to the Prime Minister, M. Nazrul Islam said during the call on the Prime Minister said that the government is working for the financial inclusion of the women folks and make them entrepreneurs. In this connection, she asked the World Bank Managing Director to provide a special fund for the women of Bangladesh for expediting their socio-economic upliftment. Sheikh Hasina said Bangladesh, while implementing any project or development programs, tackle climate change and climate resiliency issues for ensuring sustainable development. She sought more loans on concessionary rate for the climate change and climate resilience project. World Bank Managing Director Anna Berzadi put emphasis on the reforms of macro and microeconomy of Bangladesh. She appreciated Bangladesh for doing well in the economic reforms. The World Bank MD stressed the need for quick implementation of the World Bank funded project. Bangladesh will get new funds as soon as the World Bank funded projects will be implemented, she said. Advisor to the Prime Minister Salman Fazli Rahman, Principal Secretary Muhammad Tofazul Hossain Mia and Economic Relations Division Secretary Muhammad Shahriar Qadir Siddiqui were present. The Holy Shab-e Barat, the Night of Fortune, is being observed throughout the country with due religious fervor and devotion. Shab-e Barat is observed on the 14th night of the Arabic month of Shaban, and it is regarded as a significant occasion during which Muslims pray to Allah and beg for forgiveness for their transgressions. Muslim devotees are offering special prayers, recite the Holy Quran, and also holding religious gatherings, seeking divine blessings for the well-being of mankind. On this occasion, the Islamic Foundation chalked out programs including religious sermons and dua mahfils at the Baitul Mukarram National Mosque in the capital. State Minister for Power, Energy, Mineral Resources Nasrul Hamid has said no industry other than that in planned industrial area will get gas connection. He said this in response to a query in the Jatiya Shangshad today. Earlier in the morning, the House resumed its sitting with Speaker Dr. Shin Sharmin Chaudhary in the chair. Replying to a query on behalf of the State Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Law Minister Anisul Haq told the House that the Information Ministry gave approval for registration of 213 online news portals and online portals for 196 daily newspapers and 17 private television channels. In response to another questions, Industry Minister Nurul Mazid Mahmood Humayun Kabir said that government has taken initiatives to modernize the sugar mills. He also said that plan has been taken to ensure proper use of the land of sugar mills through cultivation of other crops and food processing. Entrepreneurs from home and abroad are showing interest in this regard, he added. Later, general discussion was held on the Thanksgiving motion on President's speech. The session of the Parliament adjourned till 4:45 p.m. on February 27. All the 50 candidates for the reserved women's seats in the 12th Parliament were declared elected unopposed. Returning officer Mohammad Muniruzzaman Talukdar told the newspersons that Nirbachan Bhavan election building office at Agargaon in the capital this afternoon. He said the voting was scheduled for 14 March, but the voting was not required as there were no other opposing candidates. He said since all nomination papers are valid, 2 candidates from the Jatiya Party and 48 from the Bangladesh Awami League and their coalition have been declared unopposed winners unofficially. The Gazette of Unopposed Women Candidates is likely to be published Tuesday. Today is the 15th anniversary of the Pilkana killings. Marking the day, floral tributes was paid at the graves of the martyr army officers in the capital's Banani military graveyard. On behalf of President Mohammad Shahabuddin and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the military secretaries paid floral tributes. Later, Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan paid homage. Chief of 3 services and relatives of the martyrs also paid homage. 1 minute silence was observed and prayers offered seeking eternal blessings for the martyrs. Afterwards, the Home Minister, BGP, RAP and other officers, forces paid tributes to the martyrs. Bangladesh Awami League also paid tributes to the martyrs of the Pilkana carnage. Marking the day, relatives of the martyrs demanded quick execution of the verdict. Foreign Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood said details on the beginning of a new phase in the relationship between Bangladesh and USA were discussed with the visiting US delegation. The minister said this to journalists after his meeting with the visiting US delegation at the Foreign Ministry today. The 6-member delegation, led by Special Assistant to the U.S. President and Senior Director for South Asia, U.S. National Security Council, Early Longbatcher, participated in the meeting. The Foreign Minister thanked the USA for providing humanitarian support to Rohingyas who took shelter in Bangladesh. At the same time, the minister also said that both the delegations discussed various issues of mutual interest, including solving the Rohingya crisis, expansion of trade and investment, security, improving working environment, climate change and forming an uninterrupted and free Indo-Pacific region. Later, the Foreign Minister handed over a letter of appreciation written by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for US President Joe Biden to the visiting delegation. Earlier, a delegation of the ASEAN countries made a courtesy call on Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. They discussed various issues of mutual bilateral interest, including expansion of trade.
মার্কিন যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের বড় ভূমিকা রয়েছে। আমরা কিভাবে আমাদের সম্পর্ককে আরো গভীরতর করতে পারি এবং আমরা সম্পর্কের নতুন যুগ কিভাবে আমরা স্ট্রেংথেন করতে পারি সে নিয়ে আলোচনা করেছি। তারাও আমাদের সাথে গভীর সম্পর্ক, আমাদের সাথে সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন করতে চায়। আমরা রোহিঙ্গা ইস্যু নিয়ে আলোচনা করেছি। তারা ক্রমাগতভাবে মায়ানমারের উপর চাপ প্রয়োগ করছে এবং রোহিঙ্গাদেরকে এখানে যে আমরা আশ্রয় দিয়েছি সেই ক্ষেত্রে তারা সর্বতোভাবে নানাভাবে সহায়তা করছে। গাজায় যুদ্ধবিরতি কার্যকর করার ব্যাপারে আমি তাদের সাথে আলোচনা করেছি। রাশিয়া ইউক্রেন যুদ্ধ এবং করোনা মহামারীর পর এই যুদ্ধ হঠাৎ করে বেঁধে যাওয়া সেটি আমাদের সবার জন্য যে একটি হতাশার বিষয় ছিল সেই বিষয়গুলো আলোচনা করেছি এবং যুক্তরাষ্ট্রে পালিয়ে থাকা বঙ্গবন্ধুর আত্মস্বীকৃত খুনি রাশেদ চৌধুরীকে বাংলাদেশে ফেরত পাঠানোর বিষয়টি আমরা আলোচনা করেছি এবং র্যাবের স্যাংশন উড্ডয়নের ব্যাপারে আমরা আলোচনা করেছি। তারা কিছু 5টা অবজারভেশন দিয়েছে, সেই অবজারভেশনগুলো নিয়ে আমরা কাজ করছি। এছাড়া তাদের যে ইনভেস্টমেন্ট আমাদের দেশে সেই ইনভেস্টমেন্ট নিয়েও আমরা আলোচনা করি, সেটি কীভাবে বাড়ানো যায়। আমাদের সম্পর্কের একটি নতুন চ্যাপ্টার শুরু করার ব্যাপারে আমাদের উইলিংনেস এটি নিয়েই আমরা আলোচনা করেছি এবং অত্যন্ত হৃদ্যতাপূর্ণ পরিবেশে আমরা আলোচনা করেছি।
State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Muhammad Ali Arafat has proposed creation of a collaborative digital platform to combat the disinformation campaign over Israeli genocidal invasion of Gaza. He said this as he joined a special conference of OIC information ministers at Istanbul in Turkey on Saturday afternoon. A video message by the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan marked the opening of the conference. The OIC convened the Information Ministers' special meeting on the Israeli Occupation Authority's disinformation and hostility against journalists and media outlets in the occupied Palestinian territory. Addressing the conference, Bangladesh State Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Muhammad Ali Arafat, said the world has hardly seen the continued killing of journalists and spreading of disinformation in Gaza. Muhammad Ali Arafat said a collaborative digital platform must be created to combat the spreading of misleading disinformation against Palestine. The state minister also said Israel has systematically disseminated false and misleading news to hide its cruelty and grave violation of international law in Gaza. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Muhammad Ali Arafat, now visiting Turkey, also condemned Israel's genocide in the Gaza Strip, saying that the world knows about the discriminate killing of children, women, senior civilians, journalists on duty and human rights activists there. He said this in an interview with Turkish state television TRT World Today. Muhammad Ali Arafat said the OIC countries will have to work together to resist the genocide of Israel in Palestine and the spread of misinformation around the world in this regard. Here follows some selected excerpts of the interview of Bangladesh State Minister for Information and Broadcasting given to TRT World.
Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I'd like to thank the Turkish government for hosting this summit. It was an extraordinary session. Especially, it was called for getting together all the member states of the OIC to not only deal with the disinformation campaign that's being put forth by the Israeli government, but also to, bring the attention of the whole world to this particular issue. And we have proposed certain things about this, that we can create some kind of information pool, and all of the member states, whatever the information we have, we can put together all this information and share among each other, and that's how we can bring it to the attention of the rest of the world. So,
do you think that's also based on where that media is from? There has, of course, been a lot of criticism towards Western media about how they are framing the narrative of what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can criticize about any particular narrative, but what is the truth? Isn't it not the truth that the babies are getting killed, the innocent civilians are getting massacred, and a genocide is taking place there in Gaza? So if that is the truth, then what else do you need to know? What more do you need to know? There, I think this is one of the initiatives that was taken by the Turkish government and the OIC. I think it's a very good initiative. We can put together our knowledge, information, and efforts, and then try to create a pool of information and disseminate the truth all over the world.
And can you tell us a bit about your country and what it has been doing to support Palestinians on the international scale?
Bangladesh has always been in support of the Palestinian oppressed people. Our Prime Minister is very loud and clear, and she participated in the Munich Security Summit a few days back, and there she very clearly said that it is genocide that is taking place in Gaza Strip. And that is our position, and we believe that the Palestinian people are being oppressed, so it's a clear division. The oppression is taking place from other side. There's a oppressor and the oppressed. So we are on the side of the oppressed people, and we believe in the freedom of the Palestinian people. We believe in the two-state solution. I think there's a two-state, but one state has everything to defend themselves, the other state don't have anything. So this is not a two-state. So therefore, we have to eventually go back to this root of this problem to solve it, and we are in support of that.
পানির
Now moving to international news. Thousands of Palestinians, including many women and children, have been killed in the latest round of Israeli attacks. At least 10 Palestinians killed in overnight Israeli shelling of a home in northern Gaza's Bet Lahia. Israeli shelling killed 3 people in Gaza City. Meanwhile, an Israeli delegation is likely to visit Qatar to hold talks on captive exchange with Hamas, according to Israeli media. At least 29,606 people have been killed in Gaza by Israeli attacks since October 7, with another 69,737 wounded. The US and the UK have hit 22 positions in 3 Yemeni governorates, including Sana'a, the Houthi group said on Sunday. The US says Saturday's strikes were directed against shortage of facilities, drones, air defense system, radars and a helicopter of the Houthis movement. The UK says the allies acted to further degrade Houthis' capabilities. There have been sustained attacks by the Iran-backed Houthis on shipping in the important Red Sea trade route. The Houthis, who control large swathes of women, including the capital Sana'a, have been targeting vessels they say are linked to Israel and the West in response to the continuing Israel-Gaza war. Donald Trump is one step closer to the Republican presidential nomination after a massive win over Nikki Haley in South Carolina. The former president won his primary opponent's home state by 20-point margin, his 4th consecutive victory. As he celebrated, Trump made no mention of Haley. He vowed to stay in the race. Instead, he set his sight on the general election in November. That will be a likely rematch with his successor in the White House. Trump lauded his party's unity after Saturday's result, saying there's never been a spirit like this. Haley, who once served as a popular 2-term governor of South Carolina, congratulated her opponent on his victory in her speech. She promised not to quit and recommitted to staying in the race until at least Super Tuesday, 5 March, when voters in 16 states will cast their ballots on the same day. A 10-member U.S. delegation led by visiting Deputy Assistant Secretary for South and Central ASEAN Affairs of the State Department, Afrin Akhtar, held a meeting with Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Sabir Hossain Chaudhry, at the Secretariat today. During the meeting, Sabir Hossain Chaudhry said they discussed the sustainable development issue based on environment and climate actions. They also discussed on climate fund, he added. The minister said environment and climate are priority areas for the U.S. He also said bilateral relations between Bangladesh and the USA will strengthen in the coming days based on the issue. Now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain mainly dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the night. Country night temperature may fall by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country, said the Met Office. Now news on sports. India scored 40 runs without loss against England, chasing the victory target of 192 runs at stumps of day 3 in the 4th test of the 5-match series in Ranchi. India need 152 more runs to win, while they have 2 days and 10 wickets remaining. Earlier, India started the 3rd day's play with 219 runs for 7 wickets on the 2nd day. The hosts were all out for 307 runs in the first innings. England were bowled out for just 145 runs in the second innings. The English were all out for 353 runs in the first innings. India is leading the series by 2-1. Viewers, to end the bulletin headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh calls for adopting only those projects which benefit the country and its people, saying government aims at ensuring country's overall development. Holy Shab-e Barat tonight, Muslim devotees to spend night praying for their fortune. Tribute paid to martyrs of Pilkana carnage, preliminary judgment completed, final judgment to be delivered very soon, hopes Home Minister. Details on new chapter in relationship between Bangladesh and US are discussed with a visiting US delegation, says Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Muhammad Ali Arafat proposes creation of a digital platform to combat pro-Israeli disinformation campaign. All 50 candidates for reserved women's seats in 12th Jatiya Sangshad declared elected unopposed. 32 more Palestinians killed in a single day amid continuous barbaric attacks by Israel in Gaza. And India need 152 runs to win Ranchi Test against England with all wickets and 2 days in hands. And that is all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. And we